A rich man treated poor people like trash. But then he goes bankrupt. His wife left him. His whole life is broken now. He regrets treating poor people like that. The rich man, named James, had always been known for his arrogance and disdain for those less fortunate than him. He would often look down on the poor, treating them with contempt and disrespect. He believed that his wealth and status made him superior to others, and he would frequently flaunt his riches to make himself feel even more important. James would often be seen driving his expensive cars, wearing designer clothes, and dining at the finest restaurants. He would look at the poor with disgust, as if they were somehow less than human. He would make snide comments about their appearance, their clothes, and their way of life. But one day, James's world came crashing down. He had invested all of his money in a business venture that went bankrupt, leaving him with nothing. He lost his mansion, his cars, and his expensive lifestyle. His wife, who had only married him for his wealth and status, left him as soon as she realized that he was no longer rich. James was devastated. He had never felt so alone and so lost in his life. He had no one to turn to, no one to help him. He was forced to move into a small apartment and to get a job at a local restaurant just to make ends meet. As he worked alongside people who had been in his former life's lower class, James began to see the world in a different light. He realized that the people he had once treated with contempt were actually kind, hard-working, and deserving of respect. He saw how they struggled to make ends meet, how they worked multiple jobs just to provide for their families. James began to regret the way he had treated the poor. He realized that his wealth and status had not made him a better person, but rather a worse one. He had been so blinded by his own ego and arrogance that he had forgotten the value of kindness, compassion, and empathy. As James worked at the restaurant, he began to form friendships with his coworkers. They accepted him for who he was, not for his wealth or status. They showed him kindness and compassion, even though he had once treated them with disdain. James's experience had humbled him. He realized that true wealth was not measured by the size of one's bank account, but by the size of one's heart. He learned that everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity, regardless of their financial situation. In the end, James emerged from his experience a changed man. He was no longer the arrogant, selfish person he once was. He had learned the value of kindness, compassion, and empathy, and he was determined to make amends for the way he had treated others in the past.